could be so much closer. Locked away, feeling so lonely. Just want someone to reach out and touch me now. Come on, I've been waiting, creeping, asking all my friends where you've been, where you been, where you been. I can't deal with you and me being so far away, being so far away. Wanna see your face, wanna get in your space. I can't deal with all this time I've been spending alone, baby, cause you already know. So give me what I want, give it. I'm over it. With this distance I can't cope. I'm sick of waiting, so you wanna come over. Can't go with it. Come keep me company. Wanna come over, baby. We could be so much closer. So much closer. We could be so much closer. So much closer. I wanna know what you're thinking, what you're feeling. Are you driven to me? It seems that I can't get you outside of my head. Cast away, trapped inside my delirium. I'm waiting for someone to come. I hope it's you, baby. Set me free. I'm over it. With this distance I can't cope. I'm sick of waiting, so you wanna come over. I can't go with it. Just come keep me company. Wanna come over, baby. We could be so much closer. So much closer. We could be so much closer. I can't get so much closer. You outside of my head. So much closer. It seems that I can't get so much closer. You outside of my head. I'm sick of waiting, so it seems that I can't get. With this distance I can't go. You outside of my head. I'm sick of waiting, so it seems that I can't get. With this distance I can't go. You outside of my head. I'm sick of waiting, so it seems that I can't get. With this distance I can't go. You outside of my head. I'm sick of waiting, so I can't wait. With this distance I can't go. You outside of my head. I'm sick of waiting, so I can't wait. With this distance I can't go. You outside of my head. I'm sick of waiting, so I can't wait. With this distance I can't go. You outside of my head. I'm sick of waiting, so I can't wait. With this distance I can't go. You outside of my head. I'm sick of waiting, so much closer.
Okay, getting the first pick. Oh, get three, Pyro, get three with the
Wade Kid putting on a clinic. Whole team's down. Oh!
Experience tranquility.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the kickoff match of Stage 2 here in the Overwatch Tranquility community. We are coming at you tonight in the Harmony tier from Indigo Pool A with two very strong teams, Flashbacks and Pantheon. Both teams had a fantastic Stage 1, ending in the top of their pools, dominating the competition, and are now facing off for the first time here in the regular season. Flashbacks look to continue their undefeated season, and they face one of their toughest challenges yet against Pantheon. I'm Beth Gone 2. We're joined by Duke on production and also joined by the one and the only Mallard on analyst. Mallard, what are you looking forward to seeing tonight?
What am I looking forward to seeing? I'm mostly looking forward to seeing some nice Pool A action. The first stage, people are all tossed around, no order, no teams. Now we know these are the best teams in the tier. So the real question is, how do they hold up? Are they going to be able to keep up their winning streaks? Obviously, someone's got to lose tonight, but I don't know. I'm just really excited to see how the competition matches up.
Yeah, it should be a fantastic matchup. And like you said, we can speculate all we want to during the regular season on who's the strongest team, what tier is the strongest, Aurum versus Indigo. But until tonight, we haven't seen two of these teams face off across pools. So it's going to be really cool to see.
Yeah, for sure. Also, what I'm excited about is I'm able to sit here, analyze with Beth Kong, my sister, sibling cast, spicy cast, should be in for a nice night. First map we're going into tonight, I believe, is Ilios. Ilios should be a pretty interesting map. It's usually people can play whatever comp they want on this. Brawl's good, dive's good. I'm really excited to see what these teams pull out. Yeah, it's true.
So it looks like we're starting off on Lighthouse here. What do you think comp-wise we would be seeing from these teams?
This is a really good Winston Zarya map. Maybe even Ryan Zarya if they're strong on the Reinhardt character. I don't know. It should be interesting no matter what we see, but right now it's just empty speculation, I guess.
True. And I know that the Widow 1v1 winner is on Flashbacks. However, I also know they're a support player, so I don't know if that means we're going to be seeing any hit scan coming out from them. Seraph is a really strong hit scan player from that side, but also Biscuit I guess is a Thera player. I don't know what I'm talking about. But both teams look like they're running the Pharah Mercy here. We got a Zen on one side and an Ana on the other. But looks like kind of a divey comp coming out from Flashbacks, whereas we have sort of a mixed comp coming out from Pantheon. Mallard, who do you think has the advantage here?
I really like Winston on this map. I don't think Ball offers too much value aside from a boob. There's small boob potential, but I don't think there's enough to truly make that character viable unless Danny's a god on that neck. They might be.
And we will definitely see as we're going into this matchup. Dueling Fair Mercies in the sky, neither side really has a hit scan that's set up to take either side down. Both teams jockeying for position here. But Novik gets a huge pick onto Lexi. That'll really put the Flashbacks in an advantage going into this next fight.
Yeah, with that early pick, they're down a healer, but they do still have the Ana, so they're going to be able to keep up with the heals from Flashbacks. Flashbacks only running on a Zen, low heal comp, but you've seen people run it now, so it can get a lot of value.
Yeah, and that said, even though Biscuit goes down on the Pharah, and it looks like Flashbacks have all the picks in their favor, it looks like Pantheon are the first team to take the point here.
Yeah, they just have a lot of point presence with that Reinhardt. They went straight to point, didn't allow them any room to dive, but we see that now flopping. A slower fight plays into the favor of dive, especially with Zen and Mercy. High damage, low heals. They want to be poking out Pantheon the whole fight.
Yeah, and it looks like we have a couple of swaps coming out from the side of Pantheon. They're going over to the Reaper and the McCree. McCree probably to deal with the Pharah and the Reaper to help out against that Winston. What do you think about them running a brawl into this?
I'm not a huge fan of it. Pharah gets a lot of value against brawl, but that pick immediately goes towards Pantheon.
Yeah, Nova gets a rocket barrage, but only picks off Biscuit, as it looks like the Flashbacks might be winning this fight here. Or excuse me, Pantheon are going to be winning this fight here.
Yeah, Pantheon they were looking to play on point here. They don't want to take any fights out in the open that'll play towards the strengths of Flashbacks. They want to use this Lucio, close the distance, get on point, and take those fights on point, try to force them off, and cap as quickly as possible.
Yeah, and in terms of ults coming up here, it looks like it's very much in favor of Flashbacks here, as they've got both tank ults and a Zen ult and a Mercy ult coming online. But PogChamp does have that hammer in his back pocket, and they don't have much of a shield to block it with.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of shielding on for Flashbacks, but there is.
Bomb comes in.
Gets nothing but the shield.
And unfortunately, the Shatter doesn't look like it's finding much either, as Nova is just raining damage in onto this point. Lexi is able to use her Coalescence, doesn't seem to be doing a whole lot, and it looks like Flashbacks are going to take this fight.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a lot of fights go this way. Pantheon's going to win because they're going to force point, and then they have a very strong comp and then Flashbacks has a very strong comp for retaking the point. So I wouldn't be too surprised, even though the ult advantage does favor Flashbacks, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw them lose this fight.
Yeah, that said, it does look like we do have a barrage from Nova coming out. That's a very high damage ultimate, and if he drops down right here, gets a 5-man kill. Nova carrying that fight with a single barrage. Looks like Flashbacks are going to be forced back into spawn as Pantheon's going to be forced back into spawn as Flashbacks hold on to this point a little bit longer.
Yeah, only using that barrage is absolutely huge there, because now they have the pulse bomb and the Valk coming in this next fight. Should give them quite an advantage, just keeping these ults rolling. They're not overcommitting on any specific fight.
All right, and as they force point, just like you said they would want to do in this situation, it looks like they're having a good establishing point presence, but Arez is coming in with the... Oh man, I don't even know what's going on here. It looks like Flashbacks are taking out a lot of Pantheon, though, in spite of the beat coming out from Yojimbo. Biscuit is able to pick up the Diva, but Pantheon are able to keep on to the point. Or flip the point. I'm sorry. I keep getting them teams mixed up. It's hard to keep them straight.
That is true. Still, Flashbacks has a lot of ult advantage, but they're still here stalling. I don't like this call. They need to have hard reset a long time ago. They're actually just kind of playing this really poorly, in my opinion.
Yeah, Nova gets another big barrage, gets a 2-man. That'll help out the side of Flashbacks here. Swirlhawk getting some picks. He's got the Diva Bomb up in order to recontest. They've got 92% ult advantage, or 92%, but Fanny switches over to the ball to get back into point. 97%.
Nova's really showing a huge showing, or having a huge showing tonight. Absolutely terrorizing Pantheon. Every time I think that Pantheon has a bit of advantage, Nova comes in and just stuffs them out. It's really incredible to me.
That it is. And we see Flashbacks taking point 1 here. Mallard, what do you think that Pantheon needs to do in order to take this point away from them?
I think they got to switch up their comp. We're going to Well. Well is absolutely horrible for Brawl. That pit is just asking for the enemy team to toss you in it and make you pay for playing slow characters. And we do see them swap up. They are still in the spawn room, but it looks like Pantheon is swapping to a little bit more of a divey comp, and that's what I wanted to see.
That said, Pantheon does switch from the Winston over to the Roadhog in spawn. They are running 2 double poke in the Sky Heroes with the Echo and the Pharah. No hit scan on the side of Flashbacks to take him down, but we see them jockeying and poking for damage leading up here.
Yeah, we're just looking for a little bit of poke. Both teams just kind of playing slow, trying to get their full value out of their Pharahs. Pantheon's up in the air constantly here with their Echo and Pharah.
And Cry goes down on the Mercy for the side of Flashbacks. That's a huge pick, as now the Pharah does not have her pocket. However, it looks like the Pantheon team is taking the point slowly. Flashbacks is able to touch. Big pick onto Swirlhawk as he gets pulled into the pick, and it looks like Pantheon is going to take the first point flip here.
Yeah, the swap over to the Roadhog, kind of interesting to me, but it seems to be working. PogChamp might be comfortable on that hero. I haven't watched too much of PogChamp's play, but that is definitely a carry pick, and I definitely want to see some more good things out of that.
Yeah, Roadhog's still so strong even after those nerfs, but we'll see how this goes moving forward. Oh, Biscuit gets a huge boop into a res on the pit. That'll be a lot of point presence lost for the side of Flashbacks as they're looking to move on to point here. Another pick onto another tank, but Nova is able to take Biscuit out of the sky. Lexi, the Mercy, gets a trade off onto Nova. And it looks like I don't even know which direction this fight's going right now. Never mind, it looks like Pantheon is taking this one.
Lexi is asserting the dominance on the Mercy there. Just kind of letting them know, hey, we don't have hit scan, but Mercy can get the job done too.
Yep. Not just a fight victory, it's a moral victory. All right, Seraph switching over onto the Ashe. I know he's a pretty strong hit scan player, so we'll see if he's able to make a hit scan or an impact on this Air Force One comp, I believe is what Pantheon calls it. Able to take Biscuit out of the sky, but that said, the Mercy does still have her res up, so we'll see if she's able to get that off, which it looks like she is. So now the teams are back to even. Ults-wise, Yojimbo gets a huge boop onto a res into the pit. Trading out on the Biscuit, both teams are even at this point, but it looks like Pantheon is going to have the ult advantage here.
Yep, Pantheon's just kind of slapping them around a little bit right now, making them pay for the playing slow. Seraph gets a nice pick, but they don't capitalize on it, and the Mercy gets a free res. I think that might have cost them the fight.
And we see another huge barrage from Nova, picking up both of the tanks from Pantheon down, able to get the Mercy. He's absolutely on fire tonight and doing huge things for Flashbacks in this game.
Yeah, I need to stop calling the fight won or lost because Nova keeps proving me wrong. Or maybe if you're a fan of Flashbacks, I should. I'll keep it up.
Interesting play here. It looks like that they're still able to stall out, though. Pantheon is holding on to this point. They are not ready to give up yet.
Yeah, I'd be willing to just give this point. You're 99%. You just need to win one fight, grab an ult or two, come back in, win next.
And speaking of ults, it looks like the advantage is firmly on the side of Flashbacks for this. Swirlhawk's almost got his bomb up, and Seraph has Bob almost in the pocket. And those are going to be... Oh, never mind. He was getting his mech back. I apologize. But Seraph has Bob up, and that's going to be a lot of point presence for them in what's otherwise a pretty divey team.
This is Bob. This is kind of a weaker map for Bob, just because there is the pit. It's very easy. You can get a couple of combos. You can just toss them straight in the pit and gets no value, but... Still, 1 or 2 picks could be enough.
Yeah, and it looks like both teams are kind of jockeying for position here, but Apathy is able to get a pick onto Biscuit. Makes me, I don't know whether Pantheon is going to choose this to reset. They get the trade-off onto Seraph, so now both teams are technically even. Oh, but the res onto Seraph, so now Flashbacks are up, but it looks like Pantheon is, still no ults are coming out. They're just getting ult charge on both sides. Swirlhawk gets his ult up, Nova gets his. It looks like Flashbacks hold on for another few minutes here.
Yeah, Flashbacks, with that, getting that res off, that was the most important part of that entire fight because they were able to res their Ashe. They have that Bob in their back pocket. They didn't end up using it, but having that Bob in case Pantheon kept forcing them back and getting more and more pressure upon them could have been able to help them clutch a fight.
Very true. And now we're going into this. It looks like Biscuit switched from the Pharah over to the Reaper. Do you think that his pick is going to help them out in this fight? Sorry, huge ults are coming out. I apologize for interrupting you. Looks like the bomb came out. Fanny is able to get a bomb's kill as well. Cry gets the rise off onto Seraph, who still has his Bob coming out onto the point. Echo chooses to copy the Diva, which could also help the point presence, and the Bob is already down here.
Yeah, just toss straight into the pit. Like I said, this is not the best map for Bob, but I guess it wastes that Lucio Boop cooldown. So.
Second overtime, and it looks like the bomb from I Need Friends picks up Seraph. Both teams are trading picks back and forth. Nova gets a pick onto Lexi, but it's taken down himself. Cry is picked off here, and it looks like, oh, huge hook from PogChamp onto Ares as he gets pulled into the pit. Looks like Pantheon are going to be able to flip the point here. Are they going to be able to hold on? And it looks like they do. It's tied up 1-1 Pantheon to Flashbacks on Ilios.
Yeah, it got a little scary there for Pantheon after going up 99-0. They started chaining together a couple of lost fights, but props to them. They held on and they were able to win that last fight. This map, I do think favors Pantheon quite a bit. The comp that they tried to run first point, they started out with a pharmacy and then they kind of swapped to a brawl. I definitely think this map is a stronger brawl map. So if they decide to, if they like to go back to that, I think that would be in their favor.
And I almost thought you were going to say that and Flashbacks are going to run out on a brawl, but it looks like they're going to come out on a Winston Zarya comp, whereas the other side is running the Winston Ball. A lot of damage coming out from the side of Flashbacks with the Zen, the Zarya, and the Ashe coming out here.
Yeah, this is a pretty good dive map. The entire point is technically the low ground here, so controlling the high ground on the right side towards the coast where the Mega is going to be very important for both of these teams.
Very true. And we look like the teams are jockeying for position. Fanny on the ball is in the back line, kind of distracting the off tank, dividing attention, which is itself a resource as both teams look to poke each other down here. Fanny is picked off by Swirlhawk in the back line, or in his own back line, but it looks like Lexi's going to be able to get the res off. Biscuit goes down to Nova, but he traded out to Swirlhawk. Fighting is now moved on to point, and it looks like Pantheon might be taking this first fight.
Yeah, definitely didn't seem like it was going to go Pantheon's way as Stanny died early. The res, again, it just kind of, it's a morale thing, I feel like, most of the time with the res. Yeah, you're down a player and they got him back, but as soon as the enemy team sees that res come out, a lot of times they aren't still mentally winning the fight. They automatically reset and you can capitalize upon it.
Honestly, never even thought about it like that, but it's awesome. And we've seen so many really good reses coming out from both Mercies on both sides of the game this night. As far as ults go, it looks like Pantheon is with a bit of an advantage here, although Nova does have that pulse bomb up. We'll see if they're able to get any value off of that. Ares is poking, kind of just jockeying for position, grabbing that high ground, which can be advantageous, but Swirlhawk is purpled and taken down by Biscuit. That said, Seraph and Nova are trading off onto the DPS of the other team, but we see another big res coming out here. Nova, big stick onto Yojimbo, and it looks like Flashbacks are going to win this fight. Mallard, what do you think they did there to help them win?
Honestly, I think it's this mechanical skill from these two DPS from Flashbacks. They are single-handedly flipping every single fight. They never say die. That is one of the things that I've noticed watching them play. They keep going in. It's not overcommitting, but they're still holding the aggression and getting a lot done.
Two very, very scrappy teams coming in here for sure. Ares gets a good pick to start the fight off onto I Need Friends. It looks like Pantheon's going to back up and wait for that respawn. Oh, never mind. I spoke too soon. It looks like Lexi is going to get another res onto the Echo, allowing them to push in. As Nova, like you said, the DPS on Flashbacks doing all sorts of work tonight, is able to take out Yojimbo.
Yeah, the res is a perfect time for the Tracer to go in and attack that Ana, especially if the Ana's used nade recently. The Tracer can just go in there and destroy her because the Mercy can't do anything to help in those scenarios.
Ooh, and a big early/late pick onto Nova. That's going to set Pantheon back even more in terms of point control time.
Yeah, Nova's playing like insanely on the flank, but not like too hard on the flank, but enough on the flank that they're just pestering Pantheon so much, getting so much value.
Yes, and they have amazing survivability too. I feel like they haven't. Oh, and as I say that, Nova dies. Caster's Curse in full effect tonight, folks. I Need Friends is able to pop that ultimate. Both teams are even at this point, and the DPS, oh cry, another big res onto Nova, who we've seen can flip a fight all by themselves. Biscuit over on the Genji gets taken down. So, and another pulse bomb kill by Nova onto PogChamp, and it looks like Pantheon might be being sent back to spawn yet again.
Yeah, this is really solid play out of the DPS, but you got to hand it to the supports there. Apathy got a nice anti-nade onto the Pantheon's Genji. I think it was Biscuit who was on Genji there,
Biscuit was.
and then it immediately turned into a pick, like during the res. So it really helped flip that fight.
Seraph, big pick onto Yojimbo coming up here, but Apathy gets traded out as well. T-picks are going back and forth here. Both teams are even. Big res from Cry onto Swirlhawk. That'll definitely give Flashbacks an advantage at this point. Neither teams really have any ultimates up to help them flip this, but another res. Lexi gets PogChamp up, and I don't know which direction this fight is going at this point, Mallard, but it looks like it might be swinging in Pantheon's favor.
Yeah, as you see from this angle here, Lexi's standing on point, completely unpestered by the enemy team, able to just heal her team up, get those reses, and just kind of silently carry that fight. Nothing flashy. Mercies can't really be too flashy aside from getting some Pog reses in the backline, but I feel like that was the silent carry there.
Right, we've seen some very strong support play coming out from both sides, and it looks like support ult is the only thing that Pantheon's going to have up coming into this fight. Mines should be earned early on. The other side is coming out with possibly a grab pulse bomb combo and then a Bob to contest the point, which could be very strong for Flashbacks.
Yeah, the grab pulse, you'll want to see that get at least one pick, but looks like a lot more. Nova gets those 2 picks, then kind of swinging in the way of Flashbacks here. Kind of cleaning up the fight now as this goes on. Not really too much to say after the grab pulse just decimates Pantheon. Yeah, just these clean up
I am
kills.
so sorry. I lost internet right there. I am back.
It's all good. You're just a little bit of a cleanup fight here.
All right, yeah, looks like Flashbacks are doing a good job, but PogChamp is able to get that ult and pop it, which is going to allow him to stall out the point even longer here. Lexi, again, like you said, silent carry is just healing people up from and then she gets taken down by Sarah. And the fight goes to Flashbacks, who take Ilios and take the first map of the series.
Yeah, these Flashbacks DPS are looking so strong right now. As the play of the game goes to Nova on the Pharah, dropping down, getting the 5k. I have to think that the Pantheon's gonna have to try to hard counter these DPS.
Honestly, though, Flashbacks DPS are so strong here. But we are going to be moving on to Assault next. Mallard, do you think that there's a particular map here that's going to favor Pantheon? Is there one that you think that they're going to pick?
Yeah, I would like to see them go to Volskaya here. Volskaya is a really strong brawl map. So if they go to Volskaya, I think they'll have the advantage. Hanamura looks to be where they're going. Still a good brawl map on first point, but second point is an incredibly strong dive map. I'm not saying that Pantheon is a brawl one-trick team. I just saw that was the first comp they rolled out on, so I have to assume that that's their strongest. But who knows? They might pull out something and absolutely shock us here. Looking ahead, how do you think the Pantheon is going to be able to counter these DPS from Flashbacks?
That's an interesting question. So as far as the Pharah Tracer combo goes, that can be really hard to take down without a little bit of hit scan and a little bit of CC. So maybe in the McCree, I know he's not super meta right now, but my plat chat brain immediately goes to, flashbang for the Tracer and hit scan for the Pharah. That can be one way they could counter it there. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I definitely think a McCree will be strong, but I think McCree is going to need a little bit of a support staff with him. If you have a McCree, you might have to pull out that Mercy, which they had been running, and you just got to let him do his work. Give him the blue beam, let the man fly.
Absolutely. And that would also work very well with the Rhyme comp that you said that Pantheon looked really strong on earlier. And especially with this first point, gave him a couple of shields to work behind, let him poke down those DPS. That said, I know a lot of Harmony teams, at least earlier this season, like to run a sim TP to point brawl comp. So we may be seeing that coming out tonight as well.
Maybe, but I hope not.
It's been done before.
it's lost its luster in my book. It's a strong comp due to the fact that teams have a hard time rotating. It's incredibly busted insider information. Just shoot the teleporter. That's on point. Everyone dies, or one person gets through and you murder them.
Mallard, you can't give away our secret jalapeno strats.
I mean, it's. I don't know. I feel like what we see, the reason why that comp wins 10 times out of 10 is everyone gets too nervous to let 1% of the point go, and everyone just runs onto the point straight into the brawl comp and gets tossed.
Fair enough, especially down here in the Harmony tier. Teams might be a little bit less coordinated. Well, I say it might be a little bit less coordinated, but I feel like we've seen some really strong coordinated play coming out from these teams tonight. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of setup, what kind of characters they decide to run here on Hanamura as we move on to this next point. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay, so I was going to talk about a little bit of the coordination between these two teams because their coordination looks to be very strong. That honestly has probably played a factor into their very positive records as far as the season's gone. I don't know anything about their scrim schedule, but these teams look like they're playing together quite a bit, and they look very comfortable and trusting and trust their teammates.
Which, for the side of Flashbacks, is something that's kind of remarkable, really. As we saw on roster transactions, they dropped Beastman on tank earlier tonight and picked up Swirlhawk. Granted, Swirlhawk is a very strong player. We saw them do really good things on Excel earlier this season, so it'll be interesting to kind of see them gel together more as the group stage goes on as well.
Yeah, I did not notice that, but that is very impressive to me that they swapped in a new tank, and bada bing, bada boom, looking very strong with them.
Absolutely.
So, got about 10 seconds we get into the match here. Don't know what comps they're going to run. As we said earlier, maybe a Sim TP, but I think Pharah is really strong first point, especially.
And we've seen how strong Nova can be on that Pharah, but he's coming out with the McCree, and it looks like we might have a Sim teleporter strat.
Oh, no.
Of course, they can always change. It happens a lot. Caster's curse and all that.
It's true. I always used to, when I was playing in Season 3, I would always roll out on the most wild things possible to try to get the casters to say something and then immediately swap, just trying to mess with them. But now I'm on the other side of that. It becomes a lot more disgusting.
On Pantheon, we're seeing them roll out on a double shield comp. I feel like I haven't seen a true double shield comp in a while with a Torbjorn and a Soldier against what looks like a teleport to point brawl comp on the side of Flashbacks.
Yeah, the Sigma's going to get a lot of poke damage in from the side if they do choose to TP here. Looks like they're going to get TP up top, though, not straight to point.
Interesting rotation. That's probably going to play to their advantage here as they're both cutting off the long sightlines of the other team and forcing point the way that they want to.
Yeah, we see those sim turrets get taken out immediately. No value out of those right there. Very well played from Pantheon.
But Ares gets taken down early. Main tanks are traded out. Both Reinhardts are down. And Ares, on the attacking side, will respawn faster. I Need Friends goes down on the side of Pantheon, but taken out by Nova. Sarah takes down Fanny, and it looks like this fight, which initially looked like it might be a good fight for Pantheon, Pantheon is actually going the way of Flashbacks.
Yeah, in my opinion, I don't think Pantheon took that fight fast enough. You're going up against a Reinhardt, a Zarya, a McCree, and a Sim. The Sim especially is one of those characters that just benefits so much from a long engagement. Getting that beam powered up to the third stage absolutely decimates.
And it looks like Seraph is doing a very good job of getting that beam hive charge. They already have an ultimate built up. They're going to push in with it, as well as with the window coming out from Apathy. Yoon's turret gets taken down. Both teams just poking for damage, but PogChamp goes down. That's going to be a huge pick for the attacking team. I Need Friends goes down as well. Looks like the Nano came out onto Fanny, who is going to try for a big slam here, is able to take down Ares, and Nova. And it looks like this fight, which initially was going in the direction of Pantheon, is actually going to go back, or Flashbacks is actually going to get back towards Pantheon.
Yeah, that poke comp, they run a little bit pokier, I guess, with the Torb turret. Really gets a lot of value from a longer engage. I know I said it wants to take fights fast, but right there, we see the value of those crossfires that are set up with a turret on a team that's pushing in slowly. And it, even though PogChamp went down early, there was still enough of the crossfire to be able to set up to be able to take out Flashback.
Yeah. A couple of switches in here. It looks like I Need Friends is switching from the Mei over to the Genji here. Swirlhawk has a big grab coming up here. There it is. And the damage coming out huge. Nova gets a massive high noon onto that. Cry goes down to the Torb Molten Core, but it's not going to be enough. Flashbacks look like they're about to put this one away.
Yeah, that old combo was very, it's a very strong combo in general. The grab high noon. Biggest counter to high noon, just don't walk. Just walk away. Just get behind a corner. But when you can't do that when you're stuck in a grab.
Yeah, just get out of grab forehead.
Yeah. So they were all stuck up in there, got killed fast, and a quick decisive fight is absolutely what you need to be able to cap a 2CP map with lots of time remaining. 2CP lull is a common statement because of the amount of stagger fights that happen on that second fight, that are on the second point, which are able to flip it. So being able to take a decisive fight and kill 4 or 5 within a few seconds was what led Flashbacks to just absolutely running the clock up.
Yeah, with an absolutely ridiculous 4 minutes and 20 seconds in the time bank. Pantheon are going to have to take this one fast if they want to match that. Looks like Pantheon is coming out on the brawl comp that we called from earlier. Very classic traditional brawl. Rein, Zarya, Mei, Reaper with a Moira and a Lucio. On the defending side, we see a dive comp coming out from Flashbacks with 2 very high impact, high damage characters with Seraph and Nova on Ashe and Pharah. Mallard, what comp do you like in this situation? Who do you think has the advantage here?
I really like Flashback's comp. A lot of people will see the Reaper and say, oh no, Ares can't play Monkey, it's countered. But if you play Monkey well, a Reaper doesn't really do too much to you. Maybe, you just can't be quite as aggro. You can't be in the back line all the way. But I really like seeing dive on this.
All right, and we will see what this looks like. It looks like the Pantheon is going to go through the side room, which is going to give Nova a good chance to get some really good poke damage in here, building up his ult. He's already 31% of the way there. Taking this fight all the way around as a good Pantheon, I believe, is a good idea here, as they're cutting off the long sight lines, getting into the close counters fights that they are most looking to get.
Yeah, the problem with these rotations is it's giving Nova a bunch of ult charge. Nova's already to 50%. Probably see a lot more very quickly.
Yep. And Nova's around back, gets a big pick onto Daye. That's going to cut the healing in half, takes out Fanny on the Zarya, and it looks like Pantheon are going to go down here, unless this coalescence from Lexi. Oh, but the big barrage coming in takes out, Apathy takes down PogChamp, and it looks like Flashbacks are going to clean this one up.
I really like the way that Flashbacks played that. They know that they capped second point, and they know they capped it with a lot of time. So they weren't panicked when Pantheon pressured point. They said, you know what, Nova, go around coast. You can go in, you can pepper them from behind. We'll poke them from the front. We'll get the full value. Who cares about a tick? We win the fight.
Absolutely. Flashbacks know that in this comp, their advantage is in the long game, and they're willing to give up some time on the clock in order to have more time to win the fight, like you said. Looks like this time Pantheon are going to push in main. Yoon already getting taken down by Nova, though, who is already 79% of the way to another ult. Oh my goodness. This guy's able to build up ult so quickly. Lexi takes a dive off the side. Fanny gets taken down by Swirlhawk, and it's another reset for Pantheon.
Yeah, as we see, Pantheon is making some swaps here. I do like the swaps over to a little bit more divey comp. They're less punishable by the Pharah and the Ashe, who both get tremendous value out of rotations together as a team. Dynamite farms on 6 players at the same time. Bob comes up immediately. So easy.
That said, with all those switches, the ult advantage is definitely in Flashback's favor. Yoon and I Need Friends already taken down by Seraph's Bob. And Lexi goes down to Swirlhawk, using only 2 ults with the Valk and the Bob. It looks like Flashbacks are holding on yet again with 1 minute and 20 seconds left on the clock. Mallard, what does Pantheon need to do in order to cap this point?
I think Pantheon has to make a decision right now. They have to decide, are we going to go fast? Are we going to punish the Zen? Are we going to go straight for him? Or are we going to play slow? And are we going to take out Nova? I think you kind of have to make that decision very early because it's hard to do both at the same time.
Absolutely. Minute left on the clock. Looks like Fanny's coming over to point. Nova's got a barrage. Swirlhawk's got a bomb. Bomb is sent up. And doesn't look like it's going to find anything. Picks are traded out as Yoon takes out Seraph, and Seraph takes out Lexi. Nova's got this big barrage up, though. Will they be able to use it to their advantage, or will they even have to? It looks like Ares is really harassing the backline of Pantheon on this Winston right now. Nova gets taken out by PogChamp, still holding ult. That is a huge pick, but Cry gets the res off. PogChamp goes down. And even though they are using all of their ults, it looks like Flashbacks are going to take this one.
Yeah, using those ults, they know that it's going to be a stagger fight coming in, so even if they don't have any ults, the fight's going to favor them. They just got to wait for him to come towards point and destroy him one by one.
Fanny's going in for the touch, continuously getting boot taken down before he can touch, and it looks like PogChamp is just able to touch with a Mercy Pocket on. Gets their ult up and is able to stall out even more, going after the Ashe. Seraph, who's been so deadly. Bomb coming in. Doesn't find anyone. Looks like Daye was able to get the res off, but so was Cry. Seraph is back online here. Ults coming out from both sides. Trades going both ways, but it looks like Pantheon is going to take this one.
Yeah, PogChamp did so much with that primal there. Got the pick onto the Ashe and then juggled the Zen right off the edge. Total, utter decimation. It's what you wanted to see. Getting those ults. They knew that making the swap 2 minutes into the attack that they weren't going to have an ult advantage for a little bit of time. They just had to stick with the comp and play it out, get those ults, and then come back in and win at the end there.
Absolutely. And it looks like Flashbacks are going to have some ults on the line coming up here. Seraph back up to another Bob. Swirl coming up upon a bomb, and Ares is almost up to that primal again, where looks like on the other side, DPS ults are all they have. But that said, they have some time. They can take this a little bit slower, try to build some ults if they need to. Jockeying for position, Seraph is looking for an early pick, but isn't going to find one. I Need Friends copies the Winston, giving them a lot more point presence. Trade-off between Seraph and Daye, healer for one team and DPS for the other. Both healers now down for Pantheon, which will probably shut their push down as the Bobs are dueling it out on point. Yoon goes down, and the Flashbacks clean the fight up.
Yeah, I thought that had potential to swing the way of Pantheon there with that copy onto the Winston and then the primal onto the Ana. Daye, wait, who was it? Someone, Cry, popped Valk, and then had to go back and pocket Apathy there. That's two healers out of the fight. That could have flipped very, very easily. A couple of things go the other way. Pantheon wins that fight.
Absolutely, and it looks like PogChamp's going to get taken down early. The res will come out from Daye here, so it shouldn't shut down their push too quickly. Nova has the Molten Core up. That's a huge point stalling ultimate if it comes to that, but 1 minute and 20 seconds do remain on the clock, so there is some time left. Healer ults on one side, DPS and a tank ult on the other. Mallard, who has the advantage coming into this fight?
Into this fight, for sure, Flashbacks. These comp swaps that we're seeing from Pantheon, I do think that swapping comps is a good decision a lot of these times, but they're waiting till there's not much time left on the clock, then forcing themselves to be very productive in fights where they don't have an ult advantage and can just get cycled on for the rest of the map.
Absolutely. And the Molten Core goes out. A lot of it is eaten up by the Diva, but it is going to essentially cut off their lines of attack. I Need Friends goes down.
Going in with the hammer.
That's how you know he's a Torb player, ladies and gentlemen, but he gets pinned out by PogChamp. Teams are currently even, but advantage does go to the defenders on this point in particular. PogChamp, just having switched to the Rhine, already has a Shatter up, which could be huge for them. Swirlhawk's bomb is blocked. That said, Flashbacks still have a lot of ults holding on as they go in towards final fight territory with 15 seconds left.
That Torbolt just kind of stuffed him in that room, didn't allow him to actually take a fight there, really stalling it out, so it's a one-fight territory for Pantheon to come back in and try to take this fight.
Yeah, PogChamp using that Shatter to knock down the Winston, doesn't get the follow-up. Looks like Flashbacks are in cleanup mode now as they're going to take down Pantheon and win map 2.
Yeah, that Torb turret from Nova up on top of the little archway there, right above point. not above point, above the main entrance. Silent winner there. Didn't see it on the kill feed, but that distracted and did so much damage, man. That was up for way too long, in my opinion. And while Pantheon had to pressure point very quickly, it just kind of led them into a split focus situation where I don't think it really gave them a way to win.
Yeah, and Swirlhawk there, the new pickup for Flashbacks, getting that huge grab and the massive play of the game, allowing the Flashbacks to cap that point with time to spare. We are now heading into the second half of this match. Mallard, what are Flashbacks doing so well here to be up 2-0 in this competition?
Flashbacks are just playing so well, so coordinated. They're doing things that you'd see upper level teams doing. Like I said earlier about them not being overpressured to take that tick on first point, just kind of deep breaths, only a tick, got this, we'll win the fight. And I think that trust in each other is what's leading them to win these fights and ultimately the maps.
Yeah. Flashbacks are looking so strong here. Strong DPS, tank, and support play. Strong play all around. Pantheon, however, even though they're down 2-0 here, they have looked really strong at certain points as well. Mallard, what do they need to do in order to come back here and win the next map?
Honestly, I think they win if they make their comp swaps a little bit earlier. They give them a little bit more time to play on a comp that they believe is better, and then therefore can start rolling with the ult advantages. They are making good swaps, in my opinion, but I feel like they need to make those swaps just a little bit faster, maybe one fight faster, and then bada bing, bada boom, the map's completely swapped. Who knows? These are each toss-ups. It could be 1-1 or 2-0 in the opposite way.
All right, well, we will see what happens after halftime as Flashbacks up 2-0 over Pantheon. We'll see whether they can hold on to that lead or whether Beep Beep Reverse Sweep Pantheon can bring it back. We'll see you guys after the break.
All right, and we are back to the second half of the Pantheon versus Flashbacks game. Flashbacks up 2-0. This is stage 2 of the Harmony Tier Tranquility Community Tournament. Pool A, looking for some high quality play, and we've seen it so far today. Both of these teams playing very, very well. Scoreline doesn't reflect how close this game has been.
Absolutely. This is the kind of play we expect to see coming out of the A tier. Best teams in the community all get funneled here. They may have all made playoffs at this point, but they are jockeying for that number 1 seeded position to give them a bit of an easier road towards the finals.
Yeah, for sure. I'm looking in and trying to think about what I was spending the whole time. You asked that question right before half. What could Pantheon be doing better? And honestly, I think they just might need to they have everything they need to win this game. I think looking at the games that they've played thus far tonight, it's been so close, so good. I think the best way for them to flip this on its head is to just do a big old deep breath, channel their inner beep, 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 reverse sweep, and get a rolling, baby. Because honestly, as long as their mental stays strong, they have what it takes to take this back.
Absolutely, because on an individual to individual level, we have seen strong play coming out from both of these teams so far. We've had a lot to talk about with the Flashbacks DPS with Sarah and Nova, but Yoon is also a very strong hit scan as well, and we've seen Biscuit roll out on those hit projectile characters as well. Yoon and PogChamp won the 2v2 championship, so we've got some event week champions on both sides here as we are heading into Eichenwald.
Yeah, Eichenwald. This is Pantheon's pick. They chose Eichenwald. They feel confident on this. I honestly think that this will be a good map. I love seeing Eichenwald because of its variety. First point's really good for poke. Second point's good for dive. Third point's good for brawl. You can run whatever you want on any of the points, but there's just so much variety, and it's always an interesting map to watch.
Absolutely. And this is another Pantheon map pick. So why do you think they picked this? What gives them an advantage on this map?
Honestly, I think it's their versatility. We've seen Flashbacks pull out a couple of different comps, but tonight from Pantheon, we've seen Hog Ball, Winston, pretty much anything. And so I think that they know that they can run these different columns, and they want to showcase that and maybe try to play something a little bit more to their strong suit. They got a little bit, it looks like they are running out on defense here. They're running Ryan and Zarya, so they're going to be wanting to stay on that brawl.
Absolutely. And it looks like we're seeing the Flashbacks run that hyper aggressive high damage comp they're running, although with Seraph on the Widowmaker, which we haven't seen a whole lot of it tonight. He did pull it out on on Ilios for a bit. But it will be interesting to see these two kind of opposing comp styles and these opposing styles of play matching up here as we head into Eichenwald.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if the Widow pick was just for a little grapple shot right off the start, and then a swap to an Ash.
Watch the Mallard big brain in action. Widow grapple shot, switching to an Ash.
I love
Mallard
this flank here from Biscuit. This is what I always do in every comp game and end up throwing, and my team hates it.
And it looks like Biscuit is going to pull it off. Get about 24% on his ult there, come extremely low, but get healed up by his healers. But Shiganami is actually going to be taken down as well. Biscuit, Doomfist taking out the Pharah. Since when is that a counter? That said, it looks
season 3 Johnny Robot. That's
less Johnny Robot. That said, it does look like the Flashbacks' hyper-aggressive style of play is going to be to their advantage now, as they are able to take the point away, and Pantheon is going to have to reset. Coming into this fight, which comp is favored in second point? I know that there's a lot of high ground to contest here, but
yeah, I definitely think that Flashbacks might be seeing a little bit of a stronger comp here. I do like the swap off I believe they're on Pharah to the Tracer here. I think Tracer's really strong on this point, and Pharah, even though it seems like it's going to be strong, you still have to attack uphill at the high ground, and you can get picked off quite a bit early in each fight.
Absolutely. And both teams jockeying for position now. Looks like our Ryan is moving up to try to contest the fight where he wants to take it down on the low ground, brawling into him. No picks coming out from either side now, but Fanny is kind of out in the middle by himself. Jimbo gets taken down. That's a huge pick for them because that's going to be all of Pantheon's speed being taken out. High Noon takes out just the Bob. Seraph looking for a pick here, but it looks like the frontline presence of that Reinhardt is going to be proving troublesome for Flashbacks. As I say that, the Rein gets taken down, the Reaper gets taken down, and Flashbacks look like they're going to be pushing up on this one.
Yeah, Flashbacks is they're just playing these fights so slow. They're not panicking. They're doing everything that it takes to flip each fight. And it's honestly, this is very good Overwatch from what I've seen tonight.
Absolutely. And we see a couple of late stagger picks coming out onto Vyun and Daye. That's going to be huge for keeping the side of Pantheon from being able to push up and contest this point as quickly as they may want to. But coming into this fight, it looks like as far as ults go, we've got Nano and Monkey and Grab coming. Oh, and Bob and Bomb. So many fights or ults available for Flashbacks, and they're going to use a bunch of them. Grab Pulse Bomb from Nova is absolutely huge, and the Flashbacks are going to take point 2 with a lot of ults and a lot of style.
Swirlhawk's grabs tonight have been insanely large. Yes, Pantheon was coming out the left side altogether, but just having the awareness to toss that down, let Nova toss the pulse bomb, slip it on in there, get the 3K, even though it's not up on the kill feed. That's in my mind, that's Swirlhawk's play. And
that just goes to show how much trust these players have in each other to do their roles and play as a team. It's really exciting and awesome to see. Ares is going to poke in as the Winston get a lot of damage, but he's going to go down as a result of the shatter. But as I say that, it looks like the Flashbacks are still able to pick off the members of Pantheon. A huge res coming out to Ares, and Flashbacks look like they're going to be taking the push for the point here.
Yeah, that fight was won, in my opinion, it was won by Ares up on that little high ground. Pantheon was not pushing up because they were worried about him up on the high ground. Slow play, and then all of a sudden, last thing you know it, fights out right up the corner. That
said, stagger fights do favor the defenders here. Biscuit getting a huge pick off onto the Tracer and the Ana. Grab from Shiganami doesn't pick up anyone, but it looks like this fight could go either way at this point.
Yeah, Shinigami might be a god of death. However, that grab did not seem to get any picks. It was very good for zoning, however, and stalling. It was maybe bought a couple extra seconds. The team just not able to quite follow up on.
No, not quite enough damage coming out, but that said, a couple of seconds can win you or lose you the game in the game of Overwatch. So we'll see how Pantheon does here on the attack as they move forward.
Yeah, this time bank is thick. 3 minutes, 51 seconds. This attack is going to be all in the heads of Pantheon. They know that they have to be rushing in. They know they have to be taking clean fights to be able to match the time bank. I don't think that they should focus on matching it, because that'll just lead to more and more mistakes, because you don't need to get it. Oftentimes on hybrid maps especially, you will see the team with the less time bank actually win due to overtime spawn. People will die up on the point, then all of a sudden 15 seconds, getting staggered, 15 more seconds, one other person gets picked, 15, it adds up, and the next thing you know, oh, wow, we capped all three. What happened?
That said, if I were Pantheon, it would be tough for me to ignore the stakes of this fight. It is a 1-3 situation or a best-of-5 situation, so they have to win this map in order to have a chance at having that reverse sweep and winning this. And every map is important in Group 2 as we are looking for playoff positioning. We're going to see Pantheon come out on a brawl and Flashbacks running out on their comfortable dive pick. Mallard, what do you think has the advantage here?
I think if Pantheon could get to point, which I think they will due to the teleport. Nope.
Unless Yoon gets taken down early by Nova, who has been absolutely deadly on this Pharah. A few seconds into the map, and they're 50% to their ult.
Yeah, Nova's kind of showing Pantheon around the gym a little bit. Pantheon wasn't really running out on any direct counters to Pharah, but still, that you can't ignore what Nova is doing on every single character, whether or not Tracer, Pharah, anything. Counters, no counters, still so strong play coming out from Nova.
Absolutely, and it looks like Pantheon's going back to that Air Force One comp that they like to favor with the Pharah duel and the Echo in the sky. Lots of poke damage coming out from either side here. It'll be interesting to see who takes an early advantage here, as both teams are just jockeying for position and trying to get an early pick. Swirlhawk having high charge, able to beam down people. Oh, and there goes Yoon. Early pick going for Flashbacks, but a trade out onto Apathy. Unless Cry can get this res off and Seraph goes down as well, this might be Pantheon taking this point. Oh, but Fanny goes down as I say that. Cry is able to get that res off onto Apathy, so it's anybody's game at this point. Shinigami is able to take down Cry. It's back and forth all over the place here. Winston looks like he's able to hold point, though. It's tanks of Flashbacks versus DPS of Pantheon, and it looks like Pantheon is going to take this first point A here.
Yeah, these fights are back and forth. You never know which way it's gonna go. First couple of picks, you might think, yeah, the fight's swinging. We're done. Pack your bags, go home. Oh no, they say. They say, wait a second, son. We still have Mercy.
Absolutely.
Boom, 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 boom. And then all of a sudden, we don't even know. The fight's won for the other team.
Absolutely. And as a tank and DPS player, or tank and support player, I like to focus on those players. But honestly, like the DPS from these teams both have the potential to swing a fight either way. And that said, we have Nova with a big barrage coming in. If they can, Bubble already used, Nova gets taken down by Yoon. Cry gets taken down. We see a classic pirate ship, which we haven't seen in a while at least. Double shield being as weak as it is currently, but it'll be interesting to see whether Flashbacks are going to have an answer to this Bastion set up on point.
Yeah, this Bastion actually is pretty strong. It offers a bit of hit scan against Pharah. They swapped off the Pharah, I guess, so that doesn't really matter anymore. But it looks like Apathy's setting up on this flank. They want to get either a flank sleep or a flank nade on the whole thing.
Another gigantic grab coming out, though, with a big purple. The Immortality Field's able to save them for a second, but not for long enough, as it looks like Flashbacks are going to clean this up.
That on a flank play, very, very good. You can tell that the comms were in the mics. Swirlhawk, all right, hey, I got grabbed, and then Apathy was like, I got you. That is, as a support player, there's nothing better than getting a nade that thick.
Absolutely. And Pantheon are pushing in here. They do have a bit of an ult advantage coming online. It's DPS ult versus DPS ult with an extra Valk on the side of Dae, and it looks like they're going to use that to engage. Biscuit gets taken down, though, doing a good amount of damage, but unable to take anybody down. And there's a back cap! And he is able to back cap point B. And immediately take a jump into the pit.
Celebratory dive is what that is.
Yep.
Oh, man.
It's for the mental game.
We had no idea that was happening, so how could Flashbacks, you know?
Absolutely. We're caught up in the action. We're not watching the ticker up top. That said, big comp switch coming out from Pantheon here as they're switching over to a very classic Brawl comp. Flashbacks are still running the Winston Zarya dive, which has been very strong for them so far.
Yeah, the Brawl comp is going to be pretty strong on this third point, I do believe. But
but
as I say, that Seraph gets a pick.
And both healers for Pantheon are down now. Rez comes out onto Ares, and Flashbacks hold on yet again.
Nova farmed that dragon very, very fast in comparison to the grab, which is actually charging at a pretty quick rate. Throws out the dragon, gets the pick, and then there we go. Nova will probably have a dragon back online for a grab dragon. Daya's got to make sure to farm that beat up very quickly and then perfectly time it, and then they swap off the Hanzo, and
go to the Junkrat. So lots of shield break, lots of pokey damage coming in here with the Junkrat, and they still have the Ashe to get those sort of pick potentials. As Bob gets sent in, we see no value from him yet, but Shinigami is going down to Swirlhawk. Fanny gets taken down, no tanks left for the side of Pantheon, and that is another fight win from Flashbacks.
Yeah, this is the real tough comp to be running Brawl into. I say it's a good point for Brawl. It is. But running a Brawl into a Junk Ashe, you're struggling between wanting to go quickly and being able to just bully the tanks and having to use that Lucio speed boost to engage, to also needing to use Lucio to be able to heal. So it's kind of a double-edged sword. Whether you engage or not, you gotta be making those trade-offs.
But big early pick onto Nova. That's going to cut that damage in half, and Swirlhawk is able to get a big grab up again. Nobody gets taken out this time. Ares is able to ult to save himself, but he is going to get taken down by Daye on the Lucio. Pantheon able to get a little bit of cart push here as Flashbacks decides to kite. Biscuit, big pick onto the Ana with Apathy. And Pantheon moving very, very close to that destination, able to slowly take out the trickle picks here. High Noon from Yoon doesn't find anybody, but does force the Zarya to use her personal bubble, which is going to allow them to push it in a little bit longer, stall out, coming out, but it's not going to be enough. Minute and 36 seconds left. Pantheon caps point C.
Yeah, that's a minute 36 is a good time bank. Yeah, that is a great time bank. But then you have to look at Flashbacks. 3 minutes 51 seconds. Now I know I said earlier about the overtime spawns and how that seems to favor the team that attacks first. Still, even with that, just so much time. Flashbacks is going to be able to roll out when they do attack, not first, second, but when they do attack, they're going to be able to roll out with only 9 seconds less than where you start the game. It's basically just free. It's just so good.
So what do you think Pantheon needs to do here in order to take this point and push it in a long enough way that they will have a good chance of holding against Flashbacks with their really reckless and very coordinated attacks?
Yeah, they're gonna need to make sure that they cycle their ults well. They need to make sure that they're being quick and aggro with their ults, not waiting, not letting Flashbacks take the first move. They need to keep up some solid communication in the team play that we've seen. And I honestly, the way that they rolled that second point, even though there was a back cap in there, they still went through very quickly. I think they have a very good chance.
All right, and we will see what happens as Pantheon is rolling out on a more divey comp, running that Air Force One comp that they do like to default to. We see on the other side, Seraph on that Ashe, which has been a very strong pick for them this game. Swirlhawk over on the Diva. I feel like we've been seeing them really strong on the Zarya here. A bit of a different look for them, but be interesting to see if they're able to get... Oh, Yojimbo gets picked off, but trades off onto Nova and Ares. That's possibly going to allow Pantheon to have a bit of an advantage coming in here.
Yeah, Flashbacks is running a Zen, so... Well, I guess they're running Mercy and Zen, so they do still
but
have
the Zen is able to
damage.
take out the Winston. That's huge. Seraph gets healing up Seraph, taking down Winston's. He's just raining damage and healing from above. They're going to have to take him out if they want a good chance of pushing in here, I think.
Yeah, this is a very high damage comp for Flashbacks. Poke, the Discord, the damage boost. both healers, they're not super good at just keeping people alive through massive amounts of pokes. So they want to be taking these fights fast, and they're doing it. The Zen's fragging, Mercy hitting some nice heals across the board. I think Flashbacks is in really good position to hold this.
All right. And it looks like Pantheon are moving in at this point. Swirlhawk able to get their mech back before the fight begins. That's going to help them out quite a bit here. Big dive onto the back. Shinigami gets taken down by Nova, who's been deadly on this Tracer all night. And now he is harassing the Ana in the back line. Takes down the Ana. Farah goes down. It's looking like Flashbacks are going to be able to hold this here.
Nova getting 3 picks early there. That's one fight. That's all. There's not much you can do about that when you're Pantheon. It's unlucky, as Chipsa would say.
And with the overtime timer ticking down, it looks like Pantheon is going to have to full hold this to get the draw. Unfortunately, even with a draw, it means that Pantheon has lost this game as a 2-1 or a draw necessitates that whoever gets 2 wins wins. That said, we're going to see how this plays out. Map differential does matter in terms of playoff seeding, and it will be interesting to see what Pantheon decides to do here to try to hold off Flashbacks.
Yeah, I want to see something cool, kooky, and creative from Pantheon. I want to see something that's going to catch Flashbacks off guard and maybe force that draw. If you just come out running the same comp, you've just got to prove that you're the better team on that comp, or else you're just going to lose. I feel like the best chance that they have to win is to just come up with some wacky, crazy idea that'll take Flashbacks 3 minutes to figure out how to beat, and then they'll still lose.
You say wacky, crazy idea, but it looks like Pantheon might be rolling on a bunker comp here. Oh, no, and as I say that, of course, switches from the Bastion over to the Ash. Still, a lot of shields, a lot of damage coming out. Res potential and Mort potential with the Mercy and the Baptiste. Where it looks like Flashbacks is defaulting to what's been working on them all night, a very high damage, divey sort of comp.
Yeah, and back to the Bastion they go. With a Reinhardt, it's more shield, but Reinhardt doesn't get a huge amount of value protecting a Bastion, so I'd prefer seeing an Orisa here, even though Orisa is Garbo right now.
Absolutely. And we see the hook shot manages to tickle the Bastion, but not too much, and Nova switches over to that Tracer that has been harassing the Pantheon backline all night. Kind of a slow push in here as both teams want long sight lines. Both teams want to get a lot of poke off here. Just jockeying for position, raining in damage. It looks like Flashbacks are kind of deciding what to do here, taking their time, kind of seeing what their advantages are, but Ares gets taken down by Biscuit. Still jockeying for position, doesn't look like they're quite out yet because they know that they can trust their Mercy, and Cry gets the rise up onto a rise, and Daya gets taken down by Apathy. Picks getting traded back and forth. The Immort is out and down. Looks like Pantheon might be holding on here as Flashbacks pulls back to reset, knowing that they don't have numbers advantage, but that late pick onto Biscuit will definitely help them leading up here.
Yeah, I feel like Flashbacks should swap to like a Diva or a Sigma or something just to be able to completely nullify this Bastion's damage and let them close the distance to get on top.
Absolutely. We got a window coming out from the side of Yojimbo, which could be absolutely devastating in front of a Bastion if placed correctly. And it looks like Flashbacks are going to engage with the Valk. Fanny already gets taken down as the rest of the team pushes up onto that Bastion, trying to negate any damage he's able to do. Another gigantic grab coming out from Swirlhawk. Huge pickup for Flashbacks, allowing them to take the tick and take the point.
That grab was farmed very quickly. I said I wanted a Diva. I said I wanted a Sigma. Swirlhawk telling me, no, I know what's best. Listen to me, Papa Mallard. But oh my gosh, see it in the play of the game here. Grabs him off point, able to get all this point control and just free fire on the grab. Yojimbo did use the Immort a little bit early in that fight. That just kept him from being able to nullify the damage of that.
That said, very, very strong showing from Pantheon. A very, very solid 3 maps by them. And it is not over yet, folks. Like I said earlier, map differential definitely matters when we determine playoff seeding. And Pantheon is going to be fighting for map differential, fighting for a win, and fighting for a little bit of honor, I think, here as we head into the 4th map.
Yeah, we're headed into an escort map here. I feel like escort maps are really favorable towards Flashbacks playstyle. That said, Pantheon gets to pick the map yet again, so they kind of get to set the pace. You know, let us know what they want to play. Kind of take the whole reins. They get to pick the field. I think that's one of the coolest things about Overwatch, at least in this community. The losers pick the maps, and so we get to see like people play on what they're stronger on because the maps are so different. Unlike actual sports, you know, a football field, 100 yards. Okay, all right. You know, the only difference is the fans. No fans right now, but I mean that's the only difference between each map or each each field. But then here, Overwatch, we got maps that are good for dive. We got maps that are good for brawl. We got, you know, all the way through, and it is awesome to watch. And so I love the fact that the team who lost the previous map is able to pick the next map.
Absolutely. And it looks like we're going to be going to Junkertown here next, a map that has 3 very distinct stages. The first one having those open sightlines, the third one being more kind of up close and brawly. I'm looking forward. I'm really hoping we get to see some Widow duels between Seraph and Yoon, both very strong on that hit scan character. Mallard, what are you looking forward to seeing in this map?
I'm looking forward to seeing some good Winston gameplay. I hope we see some Winston. I'm pretty sure we'll see some Winston. I love playing Winston on this map. Absolutely so fun. So many high grounds to control. Just able to bully the enemy team. Just so much. That's what I hope. I don't know.
Absolutely. We'll have to wait to see what the comps are being picked here, but we've already seen some really good Winston play this round, so I would be surprised if we didn't see more coming out here soon. In terms of, like, I suppose, comp choices as opposed to, like, just the Winston, DPS choices, support choices, is there anything that you're hoping to see coming into this?
I pretty sure Mercy will be played. I feel like Mercy's pretty good on this map. Lots of areas to fly around to. Your team plays pretty spread. Maybe an Ana. Ana's pretty strong. The long sight lines favor snipers. Ana is a sniper. She might not have all the cool headshots that the other ones do, but still she benefits from maps where snipers are strong.
Let Ana headshot Blizzard. We want it.
Oh, no, we don't. No. No. Power creep, please.
All right, and we're going to see now what the teams are actually playing. I got juked earlier when they were showing things that the other team could see, and I was like, what are these comps they are running? This is a little bit more of what I was expecting. Looks like Flashbacks are going tried and true and pulling out the dive comp yet again on their initial attack here, and looks like Pantheon's going back to comfort picks as well with more of a brawly comp.
Yeah, Pantheon looks like they're going to be holding close here. I don't think it really matters. I think Flashbacks destroys them within the first fight. I might get one early pick, but just being able to take those off angles and spread the field against this brawl, take a nice slow fight, kill the Rhine shield, kill everyone else with your snipers, and you win.
I don't know, man. I love the close hold on Junkertown just because there's so much space before you can hold again. If not, looks like they're going to try to stuff them into spawn, just like we said. Flashbacks held back momentarily, but it does look like the Widowmaker and the Hanzo are already taking sort of an off angle, taking advantage of the fact that Reinhardt can only hold a shield one direction. Seraph, double headshot, taking down both Shinigami and Yojimbo. Nova takes down I Need Friends. The DPS are popping up off like we've seen them do all night. And Pantheon does shave a couple of seconds off the time with that close hold, but it looks like Flashbacks win the fight.
Yeah, and I do, like you said, you like that close hold. I like a close hold on Junkertown. I don't like a close hold on the right side, because where do you fall back to when stuff hits the fan? Like, if you're on the left side, you can fall back into the room, maybe pull back, maybe pull all the way back into the mega. But when you're on that right side, you're screwed. There's nowhere to go. Like, that's it. So I think that a close hold could be useful, but I think it would have been better from the other side.
Ooh, Nova, early pick onto Yojimbo. That's going to give them a huge advantage in this fight, especially since they're not running a Mercy to res, but I Need Friends is able to take down the healer on the other side. Picks getting traded back and forth. Cry does manage to get another big res off. Oh, Seraph popping off in those Widow headshots. Getting taken down. It looks like Pantheon switched to a more divey comp, and they are focusing Seraph quite a bit during it.
Yeah, Seraph took a lot of the pressure off the cart there. They got a lot of push, and the people who did try to go and stop the cart ended up just getting demolished. So even though they committed and killed Seraph, they still had that fight. They still, like, I feel like they ended up the losers of that fight, even if they ended up winning it because of so much cart push.
Absolutely. Seraph takes down I Need Friends with a nice little flick shot, and it looks like it's just a trickle fight coming out here from Pantheon. As I say that, it looks like Lexi is going to pop their ult. Bomb takes them out, and Fanny is now on cart to stall. Huge stall coming in from the side of Pantheon, shaving as much time off of that clock as they possibly can, forcing Flashbacks to use some ults. Dragon's coming out, but it looks like Flashbacks are finally, as I say that, Yoon comes back with the touch and is able to stall for a few more seconds. This stagger fight is incredible, Mallard.
Yeah, that's 3-1 fights from Flashbacks, but like 2.5 minutes off the clock there. So even though Pantheon is losing the fights, they're pulling them out, making them long drawn out fights.
Which is exactly what you want on defense, and it looks like they were forcing Flashbacks to use some ults there as well. Ult advantage looks like it's going to be firmly in the favor of Pantheon as Fanny comes in with some mines, able to land them directly on cart, kind of all over the place. People have been able to dodge them so far, but those will definitely add some difficult terrain for them. I Need Friends so close to that blade, but gets taken out just as he earns it by the micro missiles of Swirlhawk. They pop Trance, which is an interesting choice, but it's going to allow them to get some good push here and probably guarantee the fight win, except for the gigantic purple coming in, allowing them to take down Swirlhawk. Yoon doing work on this Tracer, and Flashbacks are actually going to be forced back into spawn.
Yeah, I feel like this is just going to be a slow stagger and a quick regroup and going in, because they're getting those picks. Seraph is absolutely dominating on this Widow. So they're just they're able to hold pressure. They do have the spawn advantage. So they're able to kind of push Pantheon back. All right. Looks like they finished out that fight here. Getting I Need Friends down in the back line. Danny's stalling out the cart here. It's a pretty good play, actually, because it keeps Flashbacks on the cart, not gaining high ground and taking the position away from Pantheon being able to, not being able to push up and take the space they need.
And I am back. Looks like I'm trying to get nerfed by my internet service provider yet again. Nanoblade is coming out from Pantheon. They're able to take down Nova, but Swirlhawk's Bond takes out Yojimbo as well. Ult's getting traded back and forth here. Hard to tell which way this fight is going to go at this point.
Yeah, Apathy used that trance early, didn't have it for the blade, but the team was so spread and able to just, get minimal damage from that blade. Only 1 or 2 picks, and ended up winning the fight yet again.
And I feel like that's just a product of good ult tracking. They know which ults the enemy has. They know which ones they would want to use. And it looks like we're going to see another stagger fight coming out from the side of Pantheon as they're trying to shave more time off of this clock.
Yeah, Fanny's being able to stay alive for an erroneous amount of time on cart, just demolishing the time bank for Flashbacks. Flashbacks haven't technically fully lost a fight, yet they're sitting at 3 minutes here. A minute 30 added to the clock when you open up that third gate. That's so much of the time bank depleted on these lost fights. Even though Pantheon is not getting the full W, they're making it so good for themselves to come in and win on their attack.
Pantheon are forcing Flashbacks to play their game a little bit. They want to fight that war of attrition, take as much time off the fight as possible, just give themselves the best chance they can moving up into the next fight. But it looks like, I say that, Pantheon, 2 of them are taken down, but Shinigami does manage to trade out on the Seraph, who has switched over to McCree. Swirlhawk's coming up on a bomb, probably won't need to use it as Cry gets another resurrection onto Seraph. I feel like Cry's Mercy has been absolutely low-key carrying fights in a lot of these matchups.
Yeah, I've seen it every member of the Flashbacks team thus far has had their moments where they have put the team on their shoulder and said, I'm taking you with me to that finish.
All right, DPS traded out on sides, and it looks like Pantheon might be going down again as Yoon gets taken out by the bomb. Seraph takes out Shinigami. Yeah, Pantheon just looking kind of in a rough spot here as Flashbacks start to push closer and closer to capping point 3.
Still just pushing up, able to hold in. They have Flashbacks has the trance for anything coming out that Pantheon
but
has.
The dragon into spawn on the right side of point just absolutely melts 2 of the members of Pantheon. Nano out onto Fanny, but the bubble manages to block it. That was a huge bubble by Ares. And Flashbacks managed to cap Junkertown with 1 minute and 14 seconds left in the time bank. And even though they do manage to cap, and like you said, they didn't really ever lose a fight, 1 minute and 13 seconds, or 14 seconds, excuse me, Pantheon was able to shave so much time off the clock with those stagger fights, those Pyrrhic victories and wars of attrition, just managing to keep the Flashbacks from rolling through.
Yeah, that said, Pantheon will need to win some fights on attack here to be able to push. So hopefully they change up their playstyle to be able to close out those fights that go for a long amount of time. I think the ball was offering a lot of good value as far as stalling the cart, making sure the fights last as long as possible, but I don't think that I personally would stay on the ball coming out on this attack, just because you don't have that closing fight potential that you would if you were running a Zarya, D.Va, or even a Sigma, or especially a Hog, I guess. Any of the off tanks, I'll just list them all off.
Just run off tank, says the Mallard.
Yes.
That said, on defense, we're going to see Flashbacks coming out again on a very strong divey sort of comp. Seraph on that Widowmaker. They've been really strong on the hit scans all night. Pantheon looks like they are also going for a divey comp. Nanoblade, Tracer, and then a Ball Winston coming up here.
Yeah, Seraph taking this little cheeky off angle. I really like this. This is how I die 90% of the times in the first second.
Oh, but instead of him dying, he takes out I Need's Friends with a clean headshot. No res coming out from the side of Pantheon. They're not running a Mercy. Seraph again getting the cheeky headshot off into Yoon. This player is on fire today, ladies and gentlemen. And looks like Pantheon is still going to be trying to push in and disrupt. Fanny maybe getting a little stuck there, but able to get out with some health left. But Shinigami goes down. I Need Friends poking up here, dashing in. And I think that Pantheon just really needs to do a quick reset here to get all their players back together.
Seraph kind of shouldered that fight. Yoon's on the Widow, trying to hit this duel. I'd like to see this back and forth. I've been excited to see it, and I hope to see that fight go both ways and be an absolute slugfest between the 2 Widows.
Absolutely. Yoon gets tickled a little, has to go back to spawn, but it looks like the rest of Pantheon is engaging at this point. Big purple coming out from Apathy onto the tanks there, causing them to be forced to peel back a little bit, regroup. I Need Friends onto the Sombra, a pick we haven't seen yet, but is able to take down Nova. And Pantheon slowly kind of pushing in, disrupting the backline. Cry, getting another res off. We've seen so many of them tonight. Nova is back online.
This is barely any cart progress from this so far. Pantheon's just kind of chilling on cart, looking for like little soft dives, but not able to really get anything rolling. They kind of look to be disjointed. With a Ball and Winston hit so hard to coordinate dives, so that way both tanks can engage at the same time and demolish targets. And we're really seeing that work to the disadvantage of Pantheon.
That said, Fanny's Mines managed to take out Cry, which will put the Pantheon team at a big advantage coming up here. They're able to take out both of the tanks, and it looks like we're finally going to get to see them pushing the cart a little bit here on point A.
Yeah, getting it around the corner, but this is a very good time to die. The cart was super close to their spawn doors. Flashbacks is able to get a full regroup here, maybe?
Late stagger onto the Ano by Yojimbo. But Seraph with another big headshot takes out half of the healing of Pantheon.
Mercy does have Valk. Cry does have Valk coming in here. They can recontest with Valk to make up for all the healing lost, but who
will
knows
they
if they'll
even
even need it.
have to? Yeah, they keep getting these early, well, I would say early picks, but they just seem like before there's even an engage, players are getting taken down on the side of Pantheon by the really strong DPS on Flashbacks.
Yeah, Flashbacks DPS are putting on a clinic of how to play DPS in a poke comp. Their tanks, don't get me wrong, their tanks are playing well, and very well at that. However, their DPS are killing anyone before they even get close most fights.
And it's also kind of hard to see when tanks are playing well. The tanks are taking a good amount of space. They know when to engage. They know when to back up. They're not inting into their backlines. We see a Swirlhawk. Goodness gracious, there's so many big grabs, but no kills come out of that one. Yoon gets a Nanoblade kill off onto Seraph. Excuse me, this might be just a plain blade. And multiple members of the Flashbacks are going down. It looks like Pantheon might have enough, but as I say that, Nova picks up Lexi in the back. The mines are going to deny point long enough for Pantheon to take it here.
Yeah, the mines might be a little bit of an overcommit there, but I guess at the same time, you want to get that point cap. They need to get the cart rolling, and they need to say, you know what, Flashbacks, take a step back up, regroup. You're not going to stagger this fight any longer. Just go in, next fight, please.
Absolutely. And it looks like we've got a little bit of a poke battle going on for this high ground. The Winston diving up, but the DPS holding strong up there as the side of Pantheon gets some more heart push. Pantheon switching over, or using this Sigma here, probably trying to deny some of the sightlines for the Widow, which has been so strong for the side of Flashbacks tonight. Not a lot of picks coming out here, a lot of trading back and forth. Trying to see what's going on, I apologize. Looks like just, yeah, more and more poking. No ult's really coming out right now. Ares gets taken down, but Yoon gets traded out by Seraph, and Cry is able to get the res off, putting Flashbacks firmly in at the advantage. Lexi gets taken down on the Ana. That's going to leave them with only Lucio heals, meaning that they're going to lose a long fight if they take it that way.
Grab pulse coming in probably from the next fight from Flashbacks will probably just toss the fight over. Shinigami can get a nice grasp on either one. If Shinigami gets grabbed, throw up that left hand, put your hands up, try to grab that pulse bomb straight out of the air. That's
Absolutely.
the way they have to win this.
Absolutely. And I wonder if Pantheon's going to be trying to set up an EMP mines, an EMP lift. Here comes the lift up from Shinigami and the EMP, but the lift doesn't find anybody. Swirlhawk does get taken down, though. That's a huge ultimate missing for them. We'll see if Cry is able to get the res off, but for now it looks like Pantheon is at a bit of an advantage. Yoon takes down Seraph. Fanny is rolling up, distracting the Ana and taking her down, and it looks like Pantheon is going to take this one. Lexi gets a good stick off onto Nova gets a good stick off onto Lexi as I say that, though, and it looks like Ares is going to pop the ult to try to stall point as long as possible. We've seen lots of good stagger fights here. It looks like Swirl is coming in with the grab. Are they going to use it here? Does not look like they are, and I think it was a smart thing for them to hold on to that ult here.
Yeah, for sure. They'll have that grab coming in next fight. Being able to stop Pantheon at before the cart gets around that deep corner of the hairpin turn, very important, because then you can choose anywhere you want in this jungle gym of the third point to be able to take your fights.
Absolutely. Cry and I Need Friends get traded out. Both sides even, but healing is missing for Flashbacks at this point. Again, coming up on a nano and a grab, and it looks like Nova swapped over to the McCree. I wonder if that is to deal with Fanny, who has been so disruptive on the ball in their backline. Apathy gets taken down by Yojimbo, and Fanny takes down Nova. Nano coming in, he takes down Cry. Fanny disrupting and killing all of the members of Flashback's backline at this point. I feel like they're going to have to regroup in order to have a good chance to contest this third point.
Yeah, and we don't see Fanny on the kill feed every single fight, but that doesn't show how much Fanny is actually doing for Pantheon. That just even pulling the Ana sightlines away from being able to heal their tanks is so critical in being able to win these fights.
And the mines are going to block off that right side. Swirl goes down, still holding on to that grab, but Fanny is down as well. Seraph and Yojimbo trade out. Both teams, even at this point, defenders have the advantage. Cry, another res off onto Swirlhawk, who now has the grab available for use. Although I don't even know if they're going to have to, with Yoon being taken down and Sombra, I Need Friends on the Sombra. And it looks like Pantheon are going to have to reset here.
Pantheon resets, but they do have some ults if they use them nice and aggressively, man, that's actually going to be such a nice fight. They can easily win this. The beat comes out to be able to nullify either the grab, the bob. I think they're setting themselves up to look really nice.
And Bob is such a good point stall ultimate. It will definitely help if Flashbacks find himself in a situation of a stagger fight. Looks like Shin Nagami is taking a bit of an alt angle. He has the lift available, but Flashbacks are playing so spread. There aren't a whole lot of opportunities to use it. There goes the grab. There goes the bob. High Noon coming out. Doesn't find anybody but I Need Friends. Trades coming in both sides. Cry goes down with the Valkyrie, and we're into overtime. Seraph's Bob holding the point, takes down Yojimbo. All that's left now is Fanny, I believe, on the point. Fighting off Flashbacks as much as possible, trying to stay alive as much as possible. The monkey ult coming in. But Yoon gets nanoed. Maybe if they can build up Visor, that will be huge. 76% of the way there. Stagger fight coming in from Pantheon. And Ares gets taken down. Cry, I do not know if they have res off, but they don't have it up anymore because they have been hacked out by the Sombra. Pantheon absolutely insane on this stall here as Fanny gets some huge mines to help clear the point. Yoon, massive Visor, takes down the Mercy, helping poke down damage. Nova's 1 hit point in the back line, coming back to point. Yojimbo's able to take them down. It's just a Lucio now. Pantheon has 0.84 meters to go here. They just need to kill this Lucio, who has 1 hit point left, and they managed to cap 0.3. They get a minute back. We're going to extra rounds.
There was a solid 30 seconds there where Fanny and Yoon were both on point, just kind of chilling around there, you know, having a little fun. But they weren't dying. That's all that mattered there. That is what won them the fight. A lot of people don't understand in these stagger fights, sometimes all you need to do is just stay alive. You don't need to overcommit for a kill. You just need to stay alive, stay on point, buy enough time for your team to come back, and then win the fight. And that's what we saw there from them. Very great.
Absolutely. And we've talked about the coordination of both of these teams, but Pantheon looking really good in those scrappy scramble fights at the end there.
Yeah, especially with the ball. The ball is one of the scrappiest heroes in the game. You see him rolling through, rolling around, pile drive, grappling in, out, throwing themselves off the map, everything that, you know, a traditional wrecking ball player does. But it provides so much value and such a sneaky amount of damage.
Absolutely. And it looks like Pantheon, trying to get as much push as possible, is going to be rolling out on a pirate ship with a Sombra. On the other side, we see that Winston Zarya that has been so strong with Flashbacks, and they too are going for that really close hold on the right side, but this time with a May and a McCree.
Yeah, this close hold, holding close here is really nice against the Bastion.
Absolutely.
No cart progress.
Absolutely. Wall goes up. Bastion isn't able to find somebody, and Shinigami is taken down. And Mort already down as well, and it looks like Pantheon is going to have to regroup just a little bit. But Flashbacks are just literally having to stand to the side to avoid that Bastion spam as they're holding Pantheon in spawn. 38 seconds left on the clock here.
Pantheon needs to be utilizing every single spawn door here. I know you're running a bunker comp, but the spawn doors are a resource to being able to get out of spawn. As I say that, they just jam this way out of the front, take part.
Casters can't predict everyone, ladies and gentlemen. You heard it here first, as 3 members of Flashbacks go down and they are forced to regroup. The Bastion is able to get set up on cart, which is going to put them at an advantage, as with that mobility of the cart, Bastion is able to get so much more value here. Swirlhawk is caught behind. No! There goes Swirlhawk. I Need Friends, able to just poke him down, and more cart push going the way of Pantheon. Seraph taken down by Yojimbo. And the cart just keeps rolling at this point. Looks like Flashbacks are switching over to a Diva. What are your thoughts on that choice here?
I like the Diva. Maybe not as much as I like a Sigma against a Bastion, personally, but this Diva is such a good choice to be able to just get on top of this Bastion and really make him pay for the lack of mobility. Oh,
and Immort comes out just in time as Yoon gets purpled, and Yoon is able to take down the Lucio and the Diva mech with his ult. And it looks like against all odds, Pantheon aren't going to be able to push it here against Flashbacks and take point A in overtime.
Yeah, you can't, you can predict the Bastion coming out, but can't always beat it. It's a very hard comp to beat because it requires incredible amounts of coordination. That fight, I think Ares got a little bit too aggressive before Swirlhawk was able to come in and DM the leap and ends up dying before the fight even starts. So making them pay for a little bit of a misplay.
You almost have to wonder if Flashbacks is feeling a little bit of pressure here as Yojimbo's window gets set up right on top of the Bastion. I Need Friends does get taken down in the backline by Ares, but Nova gets brought extremely low. They dive onto the Bastion. Immort comes out. Extra damage coming in from the Bongo, which gets taken down quickly. Ares is able to pop ult to try to stall out the point even more. Swirlhawk almost up here to a bomb as Pantheon continues to pop as many ults as they can. Oh! But they get booped off the point, and Pantheon's push is going to end 58.68 meters into point B.
I'd like to point out how long the defensive fights were from Pantheon on their first defense. If they pull out some of those fights and win one on the first point, they win the map so easily. I mean, no, they have to win one second point, obviously, to win, but if they win one of those long fights that they were having first point, this is their map. 3-1 map differential carries over into playoff seeding, and that might be the difference between having a nice first week of the playoffs to having to hard sweat it out the whole time.
Absolutely. And it looks like, oh no, double turret comp. Oh no, thank goodness. I'm going to swap to a Sombra. So Bastion Sombra Bunker is coming out from Flashbacks, basically identical to what Pantheon was running the first round. But another Bastion Sombra Bunker coming out on the defense here as well. Mallard, do you think running mirror comps, which side has the advantage here?
Attackers, for sure. The spawn advantage is just too great. You can't, one player goes down from Pantheon, you can get a res. 2 players go down, you can't, obviously. And then there's 30-second plus walk back from spawn. I think this definitely favors Flashback.
All right, and it looks like Flashbacks are going to set their bunker up here on the high ground. Dueling high ground bunker, Sigma's both eating, Immort coming out. I Need Friends is up in Pantheon's business, trying to get a hack off, able to get one off onto Cry. Lexi gets a res onto Thani, making the fight more even, but it does look like Flashbacks are still getting point push here.
Yeah, that's the downside of setting up on that high ground is you kind of LOS the payload a little bit. Someone just hides behind it, and then all of a sudden it starts rolling, and there's not much you can do.
Absolutely, and Yoon and Lexi are going to try to get out here. It's going to be tough with all of the damage being rained in from Flashbacks, but it looks like Pantheon is going to be able to get a regroup at this corner, which can be a really strong place to hold as well.
Yeah, this is kind of, Yoon's on the flank here. It's kind of hard to play bunker spread apart like that. And
Absolutely, and it almost makes me wonder if they were planning on switching anyways, since Thani is over on that Wrecking Ball now that we've seen them be so dangerous on. And as I say that, they swap to D.Va, so... Yoon, ult coming out here, takes down Yojimbo, and it doesn't even look like... Seraph takes out Yojimbo. Doesn't look like Pantheon is going to be able to get a recontest here. They're going to have to regroup fast in order to hold this.
They're going to be able to regroup in time. The biggest trick will be taking this fight 6v6 and not getting panicked. The payload's creeping towards the point, plenty of time, especially with that little Sombra stall coming in from I Need Friends.
Not only was it a stall, they're 82% of the way to their ult now, which could prove to be a game changer against a bunker comp. And as I say that, Seraph gets the kill off. That said, picks are traded off. Flashbacks don't have a Bastion now. Their pirate ship is so much less piratey. And Lexi gets the res onto I Need Friends. That's going to be huge for Pantheon here. So close to that. EMP gets the hack onto the Sigma. Oh, but the EMP from Seraph comes out first. I Need Friends is going to have to hide to try to be able to use that, but gets taken down by Nova. All right, lift coming out from Swirlhawk, takes down Yojimbo. Lexi gets taken down. Thani is still available on Baby D.Va, but it looks like Flashbacks are going to push this all the way in. Flashbacks taking the series 4-0 against Pantheon.
Yeah, that was a great match from Flashbacks the whole time. A lot of these fights became close, but Flashbacks just kind of sticking their foot down and saying, nope, Pantheon, we're gonna make you have to work for every single fight. It was great play. Pantheon played pretty well, and they obviously they have a lot of areas where they can improve. And pretty honestly, like I think it's the more they play, the better they'll get. So come playoff time, we could easily see this 4-0 in Pantheon's favor.
Absolutely. And we saw Pantheon improving as the map went on. They're on Junkertown. They were able to win those scrappy fights. They were able to stall payload for a long time. In the end, Flashbacks was able to push it just a little bit farther, but Pantheon certainly are a team to watch out for as we head into the next few stages of Group 2 and into the playoffs.
Yeah, it's a bit of a five-head wine glass to say, it was a close 4-0, a very, very close 4-0. But this was a close 4-0. Every single map, absolute slobber knocker the whole time. Very, very fun map to watch. Congratulations to both teams. Played your hearts out.
Absolutely. Fun game to watch, fun game to cast. I look forward to watching more maps from both of these teams in the future. As we see more week 1 of Group 2 Tranquility action coming at you tomorrow with individual streams from streamers in the community, and then later on in the week as we'll have featured matches throughout the end of the week. I don't know if you had anything else to add there, Mallard?
Oh, no, I was just going to give us a nice little sign out here. I'm Mallard. You can find me at Twitter, MallardOW. Casted with my sister, BethCon. BethCon2_, I believe, is your Twitter handle.
For some reason, BethCon2 is taken.
Yeah, I committed to the OW life. Very sad. And then our producer, thank you for being here the whole time, Juke. Catch him at JukeCasts. Great stream all the way around. Thank you, everyone watching. Hope you all have a great night.